Hi, Neil Cannon here, author of The Vitality Secret. In case you can't read my writing, I'm going to read this out quickly. It says, the doctor of the future will give no medicine, but will interest his or her patients in care of the human frame, diet, and the cause and prevention of disease. Dis-ease. Thomas Edison. Not quite the picture we see today, is it? And if you'd like to find out why, stick with me for the next few minutes. Yesterday was the first of the Truth About Cancer series, and in episode 1 it revealed just why the medical industry is shaped the way it is. And I'm about to tell you, so stick with me. I'm about to share with you why doctors are not trained in nutrition. So, let's go. Without further ado, as we say in England. So training doctors spend on average 1 hour of medical school training in nutrition. 1 hour of nutritional training in medical school is a better way of saying it. One of the first duties of a physician is to educate the masses not to take medicine. However, they are educated how to write prescriptions and prescribe medications. When was the last time you went to a doctor and you were asked about nutritional advice, or you were offered nutritional advice, lifestyle, stress, natural ways to actually cure any kind of illness? That happens very, very rarely. So the course material for doctors is drug-oriented, and drug companies pay professors. The reason for this is towards the end of the 1800s and the early 1900s, there were lots of natural practices. There was homeopathic medicine, there was naturopathic medicine, there was eclectic herbal medicine, etc. This all changed in 1910 with the creation of the Flexner Report, which was actually the creation of a monopoly which eliminated competition for all patent petrochemical medical education. What this meant was lots of natural schools were shut down, and all this education in pharmaceutical drugs came in. And basically, Carnegie and Rockefeller started showering money into the medical industry, and doctors who weren't trained by way of prescription drug education lost their licenses and couldn't get a job. So when money was donated, the donors would ensure their people sat on the boards of directors. So the donors were pharmaceutical companies, and they sat on the board of directors of teaching centres. This meant the curriculum of the universities and teaching centres fell completely into the hands of the pharmaceutical drug companies, and it has remained the same ever since. By 1925, more than 10,000 herbalists were put out of business. By 1940, over 1,500 chiropractors were prosecuted for practicing quackery. By 1923, the 22 homeopathic medical schools that were flourished in the 1900s dwindled down to just 2. All schools teaching homeopathy were closed by 1950. If a doctor or physician did not graduate from a Flexner-approved medical school and receive an MD degree, then he or she would not be able to get a job anywhere. And this is why today MDs are so heavily biased toward synthetic drug therapy and know very little about nutrition. This is huge. I mean, this is absolutely massive because it has shaped the entire industry and is what we see today. I really recommend you watch this documentary series because this is just like a 2 or 3 minute summary of that particular point. The first episode will teach you all about this, all about the history of chemotherapy as well. So chemotherapy is the go-to drug for cancer, as you probably know, and it is highly toxic and it causes cancer. 90% of oncologists will not actually do chemo on family or friends. And the reason for this is because they know it's severely toxic and it causes so much damage to the body. So why is it we're not apparently winning the war on cancer that the US President Nixon claimed or declared in 1971? Well, it's all down to money. Would you like to know how big the cancer industry is? I'll tell you in just a second. Chemotherapy, first of all. Chemotherapy uses the most powerful toxins known to man, and these toxins, of course, are being sold to us as substances that kill cancer cells. The trouble is, they also kill and annihilate healthy cells in the body and damage vital organs, which makes the recovery from cancer almost a miracle, virtually impossible. the very substances that are being used to kill cancer also cause cancer. That's why one of the reasons why 90% of oncologists won't prescribe chemotherapy on family or friends is because they know how toxic it is. Another drug, which is tamoxifen, which is the leading breast cancer treatment drug, also causes cancer. It is estimated that half of all cancer in America will be medically induced with drugs. Medically induced. Why is the war still going on that President Nixon declared in the early 70s? Well, money. Money. Basically, the cancer industry is a 127 billion a year industry. It's huge. It's massive. It's not in anyone's interest to find the cure. It's out there already. The average spend is between $10,000 to $30,000 a month per cancer patient. And if you're on Medicare physicians receive reimbursements of 6% for every single prescription they make of chemotherapy. Absolutely crazy. So crazy. So if you want to see the rest of my notes, they're on mojomultiplier.com. This is so worthwhile seeing. I really suggest you watch the first episode and the rest of the series. Cancer need not be a surprise. It's actually the tip of the iceberg. As you'll learn in this documentary, people often get cancer and go, holy shit, how the hell did I get cancer? And it's like a surprise. But when you see this documentary, you'll actually see there's a whole sequence of events that you have to go through to get cancer. It takes years and years and years for cancer to actually develop, namely inflammation and chronic inflammation, and lots of other things that happen alongside. I cannot recommend watching this series enough. It might just save your life. It might just save the life of someone you love. Figure out why cancer develops in the first place. If you're unlucky enough to get it, you can find out all the natural treatments there are available to treat it naturally. There is no need to use chemotherapy or radiotherapy. And once you've seen every one of these 9 documentaries, you'll know why. You'll be educated. You will not want to even think about radiotherapy or chemotherapy. Please hit the link below this video, watch this, save yourself or save someone you love.